Hello guys, welcome to another video in the series of coding. Today we are going to solve the problem which is called possibility of finishing all courses given prerequisites. So this is a very interesting problem and can be solved using two simple algorithms. So one algorithm is applying the simple DFS and other algorithm is something called Kahn's algorithm, which is a BFS based algorithm. So first let's see the question. So basically you are given, for example, courses, right? Let's say if you do first year courses, you can then do second year courses, right? And for a third year course also, doing a first year course is a prerequisite, and then doing a second year course is a prerequisite for a third year. That means unless let's say there's some course, let's say MA 105, just some mathematic course which I had, and then you have to complete it, right? So unless you complete this is, let's say, calculus course. Unless you complete the calculus course, you cannot let's say take advanced calculus course, okay, something like that. So unless you complete calculus, you cannot go to advanced calculus. That means first you must always complete 2, then you must go to 3, okay. So something like this. And again, let's say there is prerequisite. Unless you complete advanced calculus, you cannot let's say do another course. So unless you complete advanced calculus, let's say, you cannot do another course. So um, let's say some linear algebra, something, okay. Let's just say courses are related to each other. So once you complete the course number 3, you can complete the course number 4. So you have to find whether in this order, right, whether you will be able to finish off all the courses if you are going in order. So we have to find in the question if it is possible to finish all the courses, right? If you, for example, if you pass 1, then you can do 2, and then if you are able to finish 1, you can also do 3, and then if you are able to finish 3, you can also do 4. So in this case we can do, but there can be conditions, right? There can be a case when, example, let's say if you do 1, then only you can do 2. If you do 2, then only you can do 3, and if you do 3, then only you can do 1. So in this case you will never be able to complete all the courses, right? This is a cyclic dependency, because let's say, let's just assume you are at course number 1 and you have let's say finished course number 1, right? Then now you can do course number 2. After you finish course number 2, you can also do course number 3. But the problem is that there's a paradox here, because unless you had completed course number 3, how did you even start course number 1? It was impossible to start course number 1 without completing course number 3. So there's a dependency. You can never start one point and reach the other point. Let's say you start at this point, right? Let's say you start at 2. But how can you start at 2? Because you can never start from 2, because you need 1 to complete 2, right? To start at 2, you need to complete 1, because there's a dependency. Okay, so let's say we start at 1, but you can never start at 1, because to complete 1 you need 3. So let's say we start at 3, but you can never start at 3, because to complete 3 you need to have already completed 2. So there's a dependency. We are again going inside this loop, right? So in this case you can never finish all the courses, okay. So there's a simple algorithm to check that, which is very simple algorithm. So let's see that. So basically, when can you start a course? You can start a course when there is no dependency on it, right? For example, if I had a node here, I cannot start 1, because unless I finish 5, I cannot start 1, right? So that's a dependency. But now in this case, we don't have any such thing. We can always start 1. We can start from 1, right? Because there is no course needed to complete to start 1. There is no incoming nodes, right? Incoming nodes are also called in degree. So there is no in degree. The in degree of this vertex 1 is 0, right? You can simply start with 1. So if you have in degree 0, you will just push it in the queue, right? So you will push it in the queue. So it's a BFS based algorithm, so we'll push it in the queue. Okay, now we'll complete course 1. Once we complete course 1, right, the in degree of this was 1. Okay, now we'll also write the in degree of the other elements, right? So in degree of this is 2, in degree of this is 1. That means there is one dependency here, there are 2 dependencies here, so in degree of this is 2, and so on, right? So now we have 1 dependency here and 2 dependency here, and then here also in degree is 1. Okay, so these are all the in degrees. Now once we have completed course 1, you reduce the dependency here, okay. You decrease the dependency, because once you have completed this particular course, right, you are free to do the course number 2. Okay, you are free to do course number 2 because you have reduced the dependency. You are no more dependent. You are dependent until you complete 1. You couldn't have started 2, but now you have completed 1. So now for 2 you are free. You can start course number 2. So its dependency has reduced and become 0. In this case also dependency will reduce by 1 and become 1, because for completing 3 you also need to complete 2, and also you need to complete 1. You have completed 1, so one dependency has gone, so from 2 it has become 1, but you still have one more dependency, right? You still have to complete one course before you can start 3. So now the node with in degree 0 is 2, so you can now do 2 because there's no problem with starting 2, right? So in the queue I will remove this, and in the queue I will just have my node 2. Okay, 1 we popped out 1, and now we have just the node 2. Now from 2 again we will visit the neighbors which are not visited, and we will reduce the dependency. Once we visit 2, once we complete 2, we can do the remaining courses which were dependent on 2. Once we complete 2, we can now do course number 3. Now course number 3 can be done, because for doing course number 3, right, you just needed to do both these courses, and both these courses are finished, so its dependency will reduce and it will become 0 now. So whenever you finish a course, you go to its neighbor and reduce the dependency by 1. That's it. That's the simple algorithm. So now we have 3 with a in degree of 0, so we'll push it in the queue. Now we'll finish course 3 also. So once we finish course number 3, we have already completed 1 and 2. We have also finished 3. We reduce this in degree to again 0. Now after you complete 3, you can now complete the course number 4. So in this case, you can complete all your courses. So that is the logic. So let us see the code of this. So basically, this is a vector which has basically which is the adjacency list representation. So we are given edges, so I've just written this adjacency list representation to convert it to that way. And now you have in degree, there's one in degree vector that I'm declaring to find the in degree of each of the nodes. So whenever in degree is 0, whenever in degree becomes 0, you can start that course, you can pick up that course, you can take that course and start doing that course, right? Because it has no other dependence, you can simply start it. So that is the in degree array. Now there's also a visited array, because we don't want to visit anything which we have already visited, right? So for that I have also kept a visited array. And now I'm just making the adjacency list. So the edges are given in the form of B and C, so I'm just taking them, and source is B of I, destination is C of I, so it's directed graph. So first you complete this course, then you complete first you complete the source course, then only you can complete the destination course. So they are dependent on each other. So I'm just doing the adjacency list representation. Since it's a directed graph, I'll just use M of source, and I will connect it with the destination. Destination is not connected to source, right? But source is connected to destination. So it's a directed graph. And then I'm also increasing the in degree, right, of the destination. So now we have the queue. It's a BFS based algorithm. So we simply take a queue. Okay. And now whenever in degree of any node is 0, we can start from that, right? So we can start from that. So whenever the in degree is 0, I am just pushing it in the queue because I can start it, and I'm incrementing my count, right? And I'm making the visited also as true. Now while queue is not empty, right, while queue is not empty, in this case I am just taking the first node. So we have pushed all the nodes in the queue that have in degree 0, right? We have pushed them here. Now we are extracting those nodes which have in degree 0. Once we extract those nodes, first we'll pop them, and then we'll visit all the neighbors. So I just made the adjacency list representation, so I'm just going to all the neighbors. So these are the neighbors. X is the neighbor, so I'm going to all the neighbors, and I'm trying to see if they're already visited or not. If they're already visited, we don't want to visit them again. But if they're not visited, right, we'll reduce their in degree by 1. So this is the code to reduce the in degree by 1. Once we make the in degree 0, it is no more dependent, we can do that course, right? So I'll mark the visited as true, and I will also push it, and I will increment my count. So finally, after all the courses, if I am able to complete all the courses, right, then my count will become equal to the number of nodes that are there initially, right? Then I can return 1 because I can complete all the courses. Okay, let us check this. Suppose there is a cyclic dependency, right? For example, we have like this, right? So what I'll do in this case, there will be no node which has in degree 0, right? All nodes will have in degree all nodes will have in degree 1. Nothing will get pushed into the queue at all, right? Nothing will get pushed into the queue. No node will get processed. So your count will be 0, but the number of nodes is 3. So this doesn't match. Whenever this doesn't match, you are not able to complete all the courses. In that case, you can simply return 0. If you are able to complete all the courses, if count is equal to the number of nodes, you can return 1. Okay, let's see one more example of that. Let's say you have 1. Let's say you have 2. Let's say you have 3. Okay, let's say you have 4. And let me also let me write it again. So 1, 2, 3, okay, 4. like this. Okay, something like this. Now in this case you can start with the node 1 because it has in degree 0, right? No node is dependent on it, it has no incoming nodes, so you will push 1 in the queue. Okay, you will start this, so its in degree is 1. You will sorry, it's in degree 0, so you will push it in the queue. What are the other nodes with in degrees? Let's write the in degrees of other nodes. This node has in degree 2. There are 2 incoming nodes, right? So this node has in degree 2. This node has in degree 1, right? This has 3 has in degree 1. What about 4? 4 has in degree 1. 4 also has in degree 1. So now let me start with the node of node 1, right? Because it is having in degree of 0. So I can start with the course 1. I will finish course 1. Once I finish course 1, I can try and do course 2. I will reduce its in degree because now 2 was dependent on completing 1. Unless I complete 1, I cannot start the course 2. But once I have completed 1, I can reduce the n degree and make it 1. Okay, now I can do course 1. But can I do really course 1? I cannot, right? Because for doing course 1, I also need to complete 4. It is dependent, right? I also need to complete 4. So I cannot push anything in the queue. So, right, nothing will get pushed and queue will become empty after processing 1. So whenever you are having such a condition where there is a cycle, in that case, you can never process all the nodes. So in this case our count will be 1 because we were able to process only 1 nodes, and the number of nodes that you have is 4 in this case. So count does not equal to the number of nodes, so in that case you will return 0. So that is a simple algorithm. It's called Kahn's algorithm. You can also do a DFS based approach to solve this question, but BFS is a simple approach, so take on that. Okay, let's. For the same question, we can also use a DFS based approach to solve the same question. So you have to find possibility of finishing all courses given prerequisites. We have already seen the BFS based approach, right? Which is a Kahn's algorithm. So let's quickly see a DFS based approach. Suppose this is a graph, right? Can you complete all courses in this? Let's see. Let's say you complete the course number 1 first, right? Then you are eligible to complete course number 2 and course number 3 because they are not dependent on anything else apart from 1. So once you complete 1, you can complete 2 and 3 easily. Okay. Now once you complete 2 and 3, both of them are completed, you can complete 4. So in this case also you can complete all the courses, right? In this case also you can complete all the courses. Okay. So let's see one example. Okay. One more example now. Let's say you are given like this 1 2 3 4. Okay. Now in this case, is there possibility of completing all the courses? You can't complete all the courses, right? Let's say you start with course number 1. Okay, now you are free to go to course number 2 because course number 2 is not dependent on anything else apart from 1. But these 3 are having a cyclic dependency, right? So you cannot resolve this dependency. So in this case, you will never be able to finish all the courses, right? So we have seen the BFS algorithm. Now the DFS based algorithm is the algorithm which is the same algorithm used to detect cycle. If you can detect cycle, you will never be able to complete all the courses, right? So let us see the DFS based algorithm, which is pretty simple. So to detect a cycle using a DFS based algorithm in a directed graph is very simple. You maintain a visited array and you take one extra array, right? You maintain a visited array and an extra array. So I have already made a video on how to detect cycle in a directed graph. I'll attach that video in the description, but also we'll revise the algorithm here also. Okay, so we'll just keep visited array and extra array, right? So I have 4 nodes 1 2 3 4. So I'll just mark both of them. Now let's say we start from 1, right? So we mark both visited and extra as true. Okay, we have visited the node number 1, both visited and extra we'll mark it as true. Okay, now we'll try to visit node number, let's say 2, because after 1 you can either visit 3 or 2. Both of them are neighbors, right? Both of them are neighbors. Let's say we start by visiting 2, so we'll mark that as true in the visited array as well as in the extra array. Now what we'll do, we'll again make a DFS call. So 2 has the neighbor 3, right? So 2 will make a call on 3. Okay, so 2 will make a call on 3. So let me also write it down so that it's more clear. We started with the DFS call of 1. DFS call of 1 will go to DFS of 2 as well as it will go to DFS of 3. First, we will now go into the DFS call of 2. From 2, we will again make a call to DFS of 3. Okay. So, we are just visiting the neighbors which are not visited. So, now when we go into the DFS call of 3, we will mark it true in the visited array as well as in the extra array. Okay. Now, once we have the node 3, right? Once we are trying to visit the node 3, we will again make a DFS call to its neighbor. So, which is its neighbor? 4 is its neighbor. From this, we will go into the DFS call of 4. Okay. We will go into the DFS call of 4. Now, in 4 we have visited 4. Now when we are visiting 4, we will try to go into the we will try to go into the neighbor. So 4 has the neighbor 2, right? 4 has a neighbor 2 and it is marked true in the extra array, right? So in this case, you know that you have to you have a cycle because it is true in the extra array. That means you know that there is a cycle. So in this case, you can simply return that there is a cycle. So this is the simple algorithm. Now why we need visited array and another extra array? Why we can't simply do it with only one single visited array? I've already covered that in the link that I've attached. But suppose you have this particular case, right? In this case, there is no cycle. If you keep only a simple visited array, okay, if you keep only a simple visited array, in this case also it will detect cycle. So that's why we need two arrays to find out. And when we are backtracking, always in the extra array we'll mark the values back as false. Okay, so you can try it out with different examples. So let's now code this using the DFS algorithm. So the DFS algorithm to detect cycle is again simple. You have two arrays, visited and extra. Adjacency list representation remains the same. Okay, we are just making the adjacency list here as we have made before. Now in this case, we are also marking the extra and visited array as true. Okay, and now we are going to call a topo sort from any of the functions, right? Let's say we call a topo sort. Now when we call a topo sort, this also called topological sort algorithm. So it works only for directed acyclic graph. So whenever there is a cycle in the graph, you will never be able to find a topo sort, which is a simple ordering. Okay, so now we are just visiting all the neighbors, and in the neighbor, if it is marked true in the extra array also, in that case you can just make a variable boolean variable, and then you can mark it as true and you can return true. That means there is a cycle. So if there is a cycle, it will just return true. Okay, now if you have not visited, then you can mark it as visited and you can mark the extra as true and you can call the topo sort again. If the topo sort is again, I mean if this is also true, then in that case you can simply return true. Okay, and also you have to while backtracking, you have to mark back the extra array as false. So that is a simple algorithm. Now let us try to submit it and see if it's working. So it's taking time to load. It's working fine. That's it. Thank you for being patient and listening.